Welcome to Almost Live, a podcast from before podcasting existed where real life is stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Aphrodite. Welcome to episode 11, An Angry Moment. Until recently, I could not express anger or rage. This sounds strange to most people. I know that this was rooted in my trauma history. For most people who have trauma backgrounds, anger is a problem, though mainly it's in the form of outbursts or hatred or desires for revenge. In my case, and in the case of many other people, a sense of powerlessness tempered all that. I never got angry because I knew nothing would change because of it. There's also more to this than simply not being able to show anger. I actually could only feel any emotions full stop. There is a phenomenon called alexithymia, an inability to put words to emotions, but looking back, I often didn't have any emotions at all. I recall a few times where I guess I somehow felt happy, but I didn't really know what that was like. Admittedly, it was strange when I woke up 3 weeks to the day after cancer surgery that was supposed to keep me out of commission for 6 weeks, and suddenly, no pain, no discomfort, feeling like I was on top of the world. Just to be clear, this wasn't induced by the pain meds I was prescribed. They always turned my brain down too low to actually experience anything, and as soon as this feeling came into play, I didn't touch those again anyway. On top of that, it wouldn't be entirely true to say that I didn't experience anger, but I did throw that anger inwards instead. I was full of self-loathing and self-hatred. I had negative self-esteem, and my self-worth could be measured in the credit card debt I could never pay off, since I tried buying stuff to make me feel better, and it did the opposite. Now, though, I have access to that emotion, as well as access to rage. But also, I have access to joy, to happiness, to just feeling like everything's copacetic. I'm still getting full control over these feelings, though. I do have most control over them, but there are times where something just goes straight into rage territory. I'm not a fighter, I can't land a punch or a kick, and I have no intention of doing so, but I can throw down words okay, I guess, at times. When a friend of mine was wronged, I wrote a message out that gained some traction in my social circles. In part, it was the controlled tone of voice. But in part, I was just saying out loud what many of the people I'd like spending virtual time with were already thinking or doing. In reflecting on this, I will admit I was somewhat hasty, but I do not regret saying what I said. Still, it was a lesson on how much rage properly channeled can have. In thinking about this, I also came up with a rhyme, though chances are somebody smarter than me said this at some point previously. Anger makes the air shake. Rage makes the earth quake. It sounds poetic, but at least in my experience, it's a visual and visceral way of contrasting these emotions. When I visualize anger, I see a person or a mob red-faced and screaming, shaking air. When I visualize rage, I remember how every muscle tensed up, my body was vibrating, my vision was distorted like a 6.5 was rolling through my body. Earth quakes. More importantly, rage directed at a target can cripple. As I mentioned in episode 1, the collective rage of Cubs fans in 2003 hit one person who made a foolish mistake. Just like that. But rage can also move mountains. It's a hell of an ability, and I both want to be able to use it, but at the same time, I don't want to ever need to use it. The Kickstarter for the Hundo is still set to launch on January 20th. More details as we get closer to that launch date. I hope you'll at least consider taking a look at this interesting way of getting involved with Kickstarter's Make 100 program. I'm still working on locking down the full website for this and on all the back-end stuff. A work in progress is still a work in progress. What can I do? I'm still on a learning curve here, relearning how to do all this stuff. So thanks for bearing with me if you've been bearing with me. Thank you for listening, and I do hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.